This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and this is the new ThinkPad X220. This replaces the X201, and this is one of the coolest and most ThinkPad-ish of ThinkPads out there. We've got the usual rectangular ThinkPad look and the soft touch finish here. It's quite thin. It's incredibly light. It weighs only 3 pounds. This one has the 6-cell battery. It's available with 3, 6, or 9-cell batteries, or a 6-cell plus 19-cell slice battery that we'll show you in a minute. You can see plenty of air vents everywhere. This runs Intel's 2nd Gen Core CPUs. You can get from a Core i3 all the way up to a Core i7. Ours has a 2nd Gen Core i5 running at 2.5 gigahertz. And it runs actually quite cool, even when it's working hard. You've got your Ethernet jack here, your headphone jack, your power and sleep USB port right here, SD card slot. On this side we've got another USB, display port, VGA port, and USB again, and the wireless switch, and an express card 3/4 slot right here. It's got the usual nice robust hinges over here. There's your power port back there. So we'll take a look inside. You can see it's going to resume from sleep incredibly quickly. And ours has the IPS display. This is using Lenovo's new 12.5-inch display. It's the size we first saw on the Lenovo IdeaPad U260. This one is the IPS option. It's matte. It has incredibly good viewing angles. It's very bright and very vibrant, yet natural looking. Always, Lenovo does a great job with their high-end displays. Here we've got the buttonless trackpad, which does indeed have clickers. This is the whole touchpad moves down, sort of like HP's, but we find overall it works better than what HP's done with buttonless trackpads. The only drawback is it's kind of small because, of course, this is a 12.5-inch ultra-portable notebook. And you've got the eraser stick pointer with the clicker buttons here for the pointer. Power button's up here. Your ThinkVantage button, as usual, is up here. Nice keyboard. It's got sculpted keys to it, kind of a restyling of Lenovo traditional keyboard. Another thing that's pretty weird is Lenovo always likes to move the delete key around, and here it's oversized and large, but it's located over there. You've got your directional keys over here, and these are masked on with stickers, the labels on those keys. You've got your mute button right here for hardware, and your volume controls here. It says dual microphones, and it's got a 720p webcam, which Lenovo is pretty proud of. Ours has the Core i5 2520M, which is a 2.5 gigahertz 2nd Gen core. It's got 4 gigs of 1333 megahertz RAM, 8 is the max. We have a 320 gig 7200 RPM drive in here, and the IPS display, and the battery slice option with the 6-cell. Here's the battery slice. Surprisingly light, 1.9 ounces. And we'll clip it on in a minute and show you. So all that together costs $1,300, which actually is pretty good for a ThinkPad X220. There are options to go from a 160 up to a 320 gig conventional hard drive. Generally they're 7200 RPM, and you can get this with an SSD drive from 4 gig or 80 gig, 128 gig, and an Intel 160 gig SSD option. It's got Wi-Fi, 802.11n's, Intel Centrino technology. You can get it with 2 or 3 antenna designs, and you can get it with WiMAX, EVDO Rev-A 3G, and HSPA Plus 3G for options. The claimed battery life with the 9-cell is 15 hours, which is pretty amazing. Now for the combo that we have, the 6-cell plus the 19-cell, the claimed runtime is 23 hours. And we're still testing that, but I can tell you it's pretty hard to kill this thing, even without the battery slice on it, which is very impressive for something that's very high performance. We'll take a look at some software on this. I can tell you that I had Photoshop 5 installing, along with Office 2010 installing, and running a MS Security Essentials scan in the background, and the thing did not even slow down, and our all CPU meter showed something like 14% CPU utilization, which is pretty amazing. We've got Photoshop CS5 running in the background, and we're just going to open up a 20 meg RAW file so you can see how speeds are with that. Not bad. So we'll do a filter on this. We'll do an unsharp mask. Done that fast. It's amazing. And next we'll rotate the image. And we'll apply a more CPU intensive filter, something with colored pencil or paint daubs. Back to colored pencil. And again, this is doing this on a 20 meg raw file. And there it is. So obviously performance is very good for Photoshop. This has Intel HD graphics, which is a pretty good integrated GPU. I wouldn't recommend this for playing the latest 3D games necessarily, but beyond that, for anything you need to do, including Photoshop, it's certainly adequate. Next, we'll take a look at Hulu performance. And we'll pick the Real Housewives of Orange County. That is a 1366 by 768 panel. And we're doing this over our Wi-Fi end network.
Welcome to my home room because there's no toilet.
Okay, now we switched to 480p full screen. As you can see, it's still doing just fine. No problem here. Good Wi-Fi performance, good CPU, and graphics performance.
Hey, I have a lot of friends that have a much worse problem than this, but...
So the X220 is pretty amazing for a 3-pound notebook, given the second-gen Core i5 CPU, and of course you can get it with an i7 as well, and the Intel HD graphics. This is a very powerful machine that can do anything you throw at it, including making movies with Windows Movie Maker or the movie-making application of your choice. Certainly Office productivity apps. You saw Photoshop. It's a very, very capable computer in a very small footprint. Yeah, at 12.5 inches, the keyboard is large enough to be comfortable with, and the display is pretty easy to see. We're going to do a separate video to show you some gaming with Left 4 Dead and a couple of other titles that this should be able to do with the Intel HD graphics that are still pretty popular 3D games. And before we go, we're going to show you what it looks like with the 19-cell slice battery on it. So what's interesting about this, usually with slice batteries, you take out the main battery, or often you do. This guy here, including a little bit of a hump for the 6-cell, stays in place because there's a cutout to accommodate it over here. So you get to use both of these guys at once. And it locks in pretty solidly. There's no wiggle jiggle here, and you can see there's some air vents built in over here. And obviously it makes it a lot thicker. At 1.9 ounces, it adds some weight to it, so you're talking about a 4-pound, 9-ounce machine, which is, I think, acceptable for something that can run for up to 23 hours. So that's what it looks like, with 19 plus 6 cells coming at you. Still pretty easy to handle, even just with one hand. So that's the Lenovo ThinkPad X220, starting at $979. Again, has configured here. Pretty nice stuff on it. It's $1,300. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Visit our website to read the full review.